Let's do an inspection. We actually got this one on the last knock of the day in a neighborhood that we are doing a roof in. So let's get it going. Ladder protection up. Gutters are chock full. Let's do our layers. You can see OSB with no drip edge, but we do have starter on the eave. Also, right where I put my pitch hopper, you can see from the ground there is a dip in the decking. The ladder set up to get to the second story, and before we go any further, we'll show you where we see some signs of wind damage. Crease all the way through, came up with a little bit of ease. See how this one stays down and this one came back up. So it looks like it could have resealed. You can see right here, there is a crease in it. Our wind damage shingles up with some purple chalk. Lioness roofing chalk, yes sir. Right there, actually this one and this one, they're both loose and you can see the creases. So now we gotta revise. Now, technical problems that we're gonna have solutions for when we actually fix this roof. You can see there's some bare wood right there and the step flashing is too short. There should be another piece of siding, or we need to make some new flashing and make sure it goes all the way underneath that siding. You can see the soffit is definitely not getting loved, and that's because there's no drip edge, so it is rotting out this soffit, and that's why these nails are backing out. Gutters are completely chocked full of debris, and do a rake layers. We got starter on the rake, so we'll get a picture of that, and we're just looking, quick overview from the edge. Also, safety first. Let's go ahead and make sure we don't die. My wife would not be very happy with me. She'd probably kill me if I died. This is perfect. Now, if wind catches this ladder, it will not blow over. We're on the roof, doing a quick look, just walking up to the highest point. Because then we're gonna take our overview pictures. I do see some signs of old damage. And sometimes you can just look at the neighbors and see, if you look right over there, there's a missing shingle on that side. So should be some wind damage on these. So to give a homeowner a proper assessment, we will start at the very edge of the roof and we'll walk all the way around and just take a look, make sure everything is okay. Man, that satellite looks like it is really rusting out right there, making that wood soft. And here's something I found from the ground. Kind of scooch on down, not too far to Chinatown. This gutter is detached, so no wonder it's just chock full and not draining. It needs a repair. What we do is we find where two shingles meet. Like you can see clearly, this is where two shingles meet. Why? Because there's a factory little gap here. You see that little keyhole? But there's also, if you look right here, see where that line is? That's where two shingles meet. And they are 3 tabs. So 1, 2, 3, this is one shingle. Get a little piece of chalk, show you guys what I'm talking about. So that's one shingle. And we're gonna find the seam. I can tell the seam is going this way. And it looks like they racked the roof, meaning it goes like that. That's the seam. So what my job is now, I'm gonna follow the seams and see if there's any shingles that have been lifted from wind. And every now and then when I get a sneaking suspicion, I'm just gonna gently feel, nothing much. And we just go around, and that's how you find hidden wind damage and not damage the roof. Now this one right here, there's a crease going right here, and there's actually a break point. So I can see like, that could be, I don't know if you guys can see that, old hail damage. There is some spattering on this roof. I've noticed it's got some old spatter. And with this crease though going down and up, it's kind of an interesting crease, but you know, since there is a break point when I feel it, I am gonna mark it. So that's a shingle that's been creased. It's not a heavy crease, but it's definitely a crease. Now right here, look at that. That's definitely a crease, but it's sealed, so we leave it alone. Now look right here, you see that? That's another crease. And this one, this time, is actually, this one does have, you can see it all the way through. So that one is gonna be wind damaged, just like that. So look at that. We've only traveled up one seam and we've already found 2 wind damaged shingles. So think about that. I'm not finding a ton more after that. Looks like this could be a rake edge. What I do next is I just walk along the eave, because this is where you're gonna see some more damage if you have wind damage. Now look right here, this is a perfect example why I walk the eave. So we have a few things here. We have that, which doesn't look like storm damage, but this does. See, there's a crease right here. Now, the shingle is, you can tell, it's sealed again, but look how hard that was. It wasn't very hard. Now, the other shingles that don't have that crease, they're all glued down. This one just came back up really easily, and you can see there's a hinge point. So it didn't just happen yesterday, is what I'm getting at, is, you know, this could be a few months old. It resealed during the hotter part, but something came across the shingle and creased it. It came up, bent, maybe it didn't come up that much because these are old shingles, and then it laid back down and it resealed, but there's a crease right there now. Now we're on the rake, and this is why we walk the rakes next. This is, you know, this is Hague stuff. I don't say Hague is the end all be all to weather documentation, but it does help. See, there's a crease right here, and if you look, it's right here on the rake. This came up pretty easily. This is another sign that it's another shingle that got lifted and it resealed. Now this crease isn't all the way through, it stops right here. So try to scrutinize my word. So I'm going to say this one here, just because there's not a crease running all the way through the shingle, it kind of stops and goes back up, which is kind of weird. Maybe this was, you know, accidentally caused during the install, and maybe the wind has been affecting it, but not really significantly to where a true wind crease is formed. It's just maybe old, proximate cause damage from the install, not being careful. I'm just going to go ahead and say, because there's so many questions behind it and it's not just definitive, I'm going to say I'm not going to mark that one. At one point, because these are not sharp edges, we did have some old hail. I do see that around the roof a lot in random patterns. Can't be manufactural defects. Yeah, but I'm not seeing a ton of wind damage here. But here's the kicker: we do have some. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Can it be repaired? That's the big question. Can it? Can it honestly, since we're doing a full honest review, can it honestly be repaired? I don't know. My opinion, because it's only opinion until we can prove it, is no, it can't be. Our overview pictures. Now I got to measure these components really quick here. See exposed nails. Talk to the homeowner about that. Got a 3-incher, 4-inch exhaust, and looks like a 2-inch pipe, and then a 3-inch exhaust. Perfect. Okay, and then we got a satellite over there. So those are our components with ridge vent. Interesting enough, they didn't ridge vent that dormer. I wonder why. I totally would have. Since we're doing the gable extension, why not do the dormer? Start on the side that kind of freaks me out a little bit. A little darker shaded part of the roof. And I'm just going to find a seam, and already kind of looked down there with my pitch hopper. Didn't find anything. Not seeing anything. I'm pretty sure this is what we call a non-windward side, meaning this is not a side of the roof that catches a lot of wind, and it makes a lot of sense. Now here's a sketchy part of the roof, and we'll carefully, because I feel the granule loss from under my feet. Take a look, and look at that. Already seen a wind crease, and yes, I am on my butt. So judge me, I don't want to die. Okay, I see a wind crease. Now that we did that sketchy side, and we looked over on the non-windward side, I'm going to use efficiency and take a look at this front really quick. You can see there is something. Look at that crease. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's a flapper. So we'll go ahead and mark that. Grab our pitch hopper. Thank you, friend. Appreciate you helping me not feel like I'm gonna die. Funny enough too, it's good to document things like this, especially with State Farm. Exposures really matter. So they want me to try to repair a roof with a 4-inch exposure. I'm gonna take a picture of that. You just gotta plan, think 4 moves ahead, So yeah, the exposures are way off on this roof. They're really short, you can just tell. Minimal exposure is a good thing. I mean, overexposed is bad. So I would rather have minimal exposure, or just do it right, do it the way the manufacturer prescribes. And just looking at the seams, they're looking good. They're checking out. I'm not gonna mess with anything that shouldn't be messed with. And only found that one. You see something right here? Let's feel it. Still holding down pretty tight here. Yes, I'm not gonna disturb that. So now we're gonna look at these 2 slopes over here. You see the siding rotting out? It's because nobody understands that it needs to have at least 1.5 inches of clearance when they do siding on a roof. So you can see that piece of siding's rotted out because some ding dork didn't realize they needed more clearance, and now all this is curling and rotting on the bottom. So that's fun. So this side I'm really hoping to find some storm damage on, because it is the windward side. But again, with the way the layout is, this is a little bit protected. We got some trees. It's weird spot in the neighborhood. So I do see maybe some thermal cracking. And why? Because it's not at the top. It's right more in the field, and I feel it's super glued down. So we're usually finding wind creases at the top of the shingle, not in the middle of the field. Yeah, still looking for something, but I think I just need to travel my seams, and if I feel something that's loose, I just need to stop and investigate it. This one right here feels like it's loose, but there's nothing other than just loose. That doesn't mean storm damage. Yeah, this granular loss was sketching me out. It's only a 7, but man, you get a 7 with some granular loss and you get a little too overconfident and you're not careful enough. I have seen people fall. I have not fallen, but I say when, not if, to really sharpen my mind. Anyways, again, is that good banging or bad banging? I don't know. Walk around this dormer, see it's rotting out on the bottom there pretty bad. Looks like some stuff just needs to get maintenance on this dormer here. And see some old hail. Nothing on this dormer. I was really hoping we'd have something. But these 4-inch exposures everywhere. And look at that. Is this a crease? Yes, that's a flapper, baby. That is a flapper. We got one more flapper. That's awesome. Wow, that is surprising. On the windward side, because believe it or not, this is a non-windward side, but I did feel the wind coming in, but that's moot point. This should be the wind side. And that should be the wind side. Nothing. Except that one over there. And then shingle over here, shingle over there, and 4 in the back. That's what we got. That's really what's up here. We've been looking at this. Oh, and then the porch down there has 4. So we do have damage. It does need to get repaired. It has been documented. So let's go tell our homeowner. They don't have holes in the roof that are causing water to come in over their head, but they do have damage that will turn into issues, and it's better to get their insurance to take a look at it now with me. And don't forget your pitch measurements. It's actually closer to an 8. And don't forget your measurements of your exposures and your width. And don't forget to get one of these. Thickness looks like a 25 year, which is surprising. This was an upper class shingle back in the day.